Hello and welcome fellow subscribers and other racing fans. Hello again, this time with part 2 of my iRacing versus Project Cars, a pro and con video, this time with the cons, with the contra to iRacing. Again, this video series is not about bashing one of the two sims. It should just clarify what I think is good and what is bad regarding to online multiplayer features. So single player experiences like career or artificial intelligence are not taken into account. So let's just start right away with iRacing con points. First of all, my biggest complaint ever. It is the website. What is wrong about the website? Well, first of all, it is old. It looks old, it behaves old, and it's very slow. Very often I saw that famous message, oh, we are experiencing some delay, contents are just not loading at all, and you have to wait minutes and minutes and minutes. The layout of the website is very confusing. Searching for the schedule of a different series, well, there are 3 different ways to do so. You want to join a race from a friend? Well, there is a feature where you can directly join a race, but it doesn't work. Well, it works sometimes, but not very often. Very inconsistent. You come home from work, you want to race a little bit. Well, first go on the website and search for a race you could possibly join. Immersion? No. It's a very clinical approach which really takes away some of those racing immersion which the whole sim definitely provides, but the website destroys it. Even if you found the information you were searching for, every page is cluttered and it takes weeks to get used to it. And yes, you get used to it, you know where your information are. However, that should not be the goal of good web design. And what comes with that? Well, you can't do anything without the website. What does that even mean? I tell you, you can't even practice offline without the website. So, you don't have internet for some reason? No practice. The iRacing server is down? No practice. The website takes 10 minutes to load? No practice. In my opinion, it's just the worst thing you could do, making everyone dependent on a website that is unreliable. Why not have a backup solution with at least a offline practice? Now, let's get straight to the next topic, which is loading times. Not only the website has huge loading times, it's also the game. If you take Project Cars and you join a 30 people online race, the game will be loaded within 20 to 30 seconds maybe. However, in iRacing, take the factor 3 or 4 and you are in the right ballpark. I think at times I have waited 2 minutes until the track was fully loaded. I have no idea why it takes so long. I can only imagine that the tracks are more detailed and it just needs to take, it just takes more time to load it all into the memory. However, contrary to that is the graphics quality. I can only imagine that Project Cars has much higher resolutions on textures, but still manages to load it faster. Well, graphics. A topic not particular my problem with iRacing, as it doesn't look too bad, I guess. They are still using DirectX 9, which is quite antique, and I hope they will really replace that soon with DX11. But I think the problem is not the graphics quality overall, it's more the colors which look very saturated and unnatural. It looks like a game, and that's what it doesn't want to be. But enough of that, let's get more into the iRacing specific topics, like a safety rating. You probably know what that means by now. If not, I will explain. There are two ratings, safety rating and I rating. The I rating is your strength of a driver, so if you get better positions at the end of the race, you get more I rating. Let's just dump down, but it's enough for this video. Safety rating means if you have higher safety rating, you're a cleaner driver. If you go off track very much, if you have contacts, you get less safety rating. Maybe you lose safety rating, and everyone can see that you don't give much to gentleman behavior on track. Well, that's in theory. I like the idea of safety rating, however, sometimes it just doesn't work right. I mean, a machine, the computer, can't decide whose fault a contact might be. So you also get the bad safety rating if someone else crashed into you. Obviously. Is that fair? It leads to better behavior on track from time to time, but from the wrong reasons in my opinion. People tend to give up their positions just because they don't want to risk to get a contact. That doesn't seem to lead to better racing, it just leads to less true racing. However, on the other side, of course, if you have your license quite safe, you have much safety rating, then it doesn't matter too much to you in a race, and you can really race because one contact will not put you back to rookie class. Another thing, sometimes iRacing takes itself too serious. For example, I'm doing a time trial where I should do, for example, 4 laps clean, 4 consecutive laps, and those 4 laps are taken on average, and I increase my time trial rating and I get some safety rating or lose some safety rating, depends on how you behaved on track. But now, for what reason do I get a black flag, a penalty, when I'm too fast in the pits in a time trial session? No one else is on the track, and it seems a bit silly to drive through the pits with 50 miles an hour, no, maybe 40 miles an hour, although no one else is there. I know it's a sim, but really? Totally clear and understandable in races, that's no question at all. But in a time trial session where I'm alone on track? Another thing I don't like is there is no live telemetry on screen. If you want to see your tire temps, you have to get back into the pits and you have to check what tire temperature you have then. But you can't see how the tire temperatures behave in corners or what your brakes are doing. That's just not possible. There is no live telemetry where you can check that. I know it is unrealistic that the driver on track will check his tire temperatures and brake temperatures on the fly. However, in road racing there's also no spotter who sees you on track all the time and can tell you if a car is besides you or not. And that's a feature iRacing has as well. And I like that because it helps you to come by the issues you have. If you're sitting alone at home with your wheel in your hand, you can't just look around you, or you don't really hear where your opponents are, so you need that spotter, and I really like the solution iRacing had there. But you also don't have an engineer who helps you setting up the car, so live telemetry is really necessary for that, I think, or it helps pretty much. Why is it not there? It also leaves the impression that iRacing doesn't want you to see the live data at all times, as if they want to hide something. Coming to physics. The physics of iRacing are quite okay, I think. They feel believable, they feel consistent. However, I take into account that there is no dynamic weather and no dynamic time of day or date. There are dynamic conditions, well, not dynamic, there are different static conditions for the track, but no dynamic change of those. There's no day-night cycle, the weather won't change during a race, and this is a huge feature which is missing, and which makes the physics kind of easy from time to time. I'm not sure the current iRacing physics engine would be able to handle changing weather conditions. It's something really difficult in game development to make your physics work at all times under all conditions, so iRacing makes it really easy there for themselves. And leaving out that feature is not helping at all, because one big chunk of racing in general is just the dynamic system. Your dynamic environment. A slight change of weather can change your car so much. But after all, you have to say, okay, iRacing implemented a live track feature. So the track changes over time by the racers, not by environmental influences, but by the cars on track, which is nice. It is a nice feature, and we can't underestimate that, because synchronizing that to all people in a lobby, and iRacing runs stable with 60 people in a race, which is awesome, is a huge accomplishment. I can't say that enough. However, Project Cars also is getting close to that, not with pCars 1 maybe, although the basics are there, but with Project Cars 2 they will implement a really nice live track feature with dynamic trying lines, dynamic grip build up, dynamic dirt on track and off track, and I think at this point SMS will be ahead of iRacing. The development regarding this is just faster and maybe more sophisticated at times. Again, iRacing making it easy that there's no rain, for example. However, please don't hate me. I love iRacing for their live track features, they are awesome. But please, let's come to money. It is the thing which is the biggest complaint of everyone I have talked to about iRacing, the financial side. You wanna drive one season of a Blancpain sprint series? Okay, that's 12 tracks. Maybe you have 2 of them. That's 10 tracks. You need to buy 10 tracks for that and 1 car. So we are at $150 for the tracks plus $12 for the car. Obviously you get a discount of a 20 if you buy 6 items or more. 20% I mean, of course. But you're still over $100 for one season, which is 3 months. So the start into iRacing is so expensive. It's kind of unfair to many people out there who just don't have the money. And listen, the icing of the cake is if you want to have a private session with someone, a private lobby, just like you would do in Project Cars. You create a lobby, set it on private or on friends, and you get all your Steam friends with you in this lobby. Even that costs money. iRacing wants money for 1 hour of private lobby. What? I couldn't believe that when I first heard it. And I still can't really believe it. It's just a lobby. Yes, there are open lobbies which are free, but sometimes you just want to practice with 4 other guys in one lobby. You want to share setups, and you don't need anyone else interfering with that. But it just costs 50 cents. It's not much, of course, but it adds up. If you really need to practice for a 24-hour race, and let's say If you don't practice too much, then that's 2 hours a day, which is $1 a day. Which is, if you're practicing for 2 weeks, $14. For what? Just so 5 people can drive around on a track a little bit? I don't understand. And I don't even take into account that iRacing uses a subscription-based model. Because, okay, that's just one way how to do it. And I'm kind of okay with that. Because you need to maintain server costs and stuff like that. But charging per month and per content, that's something else. The content is just too expensive. I can understand developing a car or a track. It's a huge amount of time and work. However, at some point a car should be paid for. And there are cars from the beginning which still cost $12. That means for 8 years people pay for this one car. It should have paid off years ago, so why still charging $12 for that car? And you want to watch a friend who's driving, for example, a Formula 1 race. He bought the track, he bought the car, and he says, okay, spectate me. By the way, the iRacing spectator features are wonderful. They give you many tools to watch other races, and that's awesome. However, you don't have the content, you can't watch him, you can't spectate him. Why is iRacing not allowing me to spectate someone who paid for the content? I mean, of course I didn't pay for the content, but I also don't want to drive it. But why do they not allow me to spectate it? On the financial side, again, iRacing loses out pretty much. In Project Cars, you take $50 for the base content and maybe another $50 for DLCs. And you have so much more. You have the whole world, you have so many tracks, you have so many cars, and you just have it. There are no additional costs to it. Well, okay, that's pretty much what I have on the contra side to iRacing. Those are my cons, and I hope they give you a good impression what kind of a sim iRacing is compared to Project Cars. I will make another cut at this point because this video is already 18 minutes long again. So thank you very much for watching this, and we'll meet again with facts that are neither pro not con, and my conclusion on the comparison of both sims. So see you then, bye bye.